We only had one interview, and that was Donna Bullock. The other gentleman withdrew himself. I thought Donna did a really good job in the interview. She was knowledgeable, and she is an attorney, which may be a benefit to us at some point. Larry, Dominic,
Yeah,
Oh, she was wonderful. I think she'll be a real asset to our group.
yeah, I agree. She had a lot of knowledge. And she's already worked with several other organizations and groups. So I think she would be a benefit to the commission.
yeah.
So if you need a motion of some nature, I'd be glad to move to appoint her to the MMD.
I make a motion that we appoint Donna Bullock to the MMD subcommittee. I second.
Second.
I do want to say one thing. Donna's not here today, because I spoke to Donna, and it wasn't a good idea to have her in this meeting prior to her even being voted in yet.
Yeah, I thought about that after we had invited her. I thought
Yeah.
about that because technically she's not a member of the commission, and we were gonna take up the issue of her being joining the commission. So
So
was she invited? Because I mean, now that we've made the motion to approve her, if we have her contact information, if she was invited, I mean, we're about to go through the work plan. I don't see it, being that we did that item first. I'm not opposed to like sending the invite if you've already invited her, like, and if she's looking for the Zoom link, I'm not opposed to having her join the meeting.
well, Connie said she spoke to her, and Marie said she's evidently spoke to her. So she's not going to be joining us. We can hold off and bring her on the next meeting.
Okay.
okay. And that's all I have for that.
Okay. Any questions or comments for those that weren't a part of? Looks like we just did a motion to approve. So who will take on notifying her that she's been approved to join the MMD subcommittee?
Well, I'm the one that spoke to her, so I told her I'd get back to her later. So she's got another meeting. So I guess after this meeting, I told her that I'd text her and she can call me or something like that, and I'll let her know. I did want to ask, is there anything else that needs to be done in the meantime? Like, I forget how we did it, to get the email address going.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we'll have to get her an email, and set up on the system. She'll have to be invited to these meetings, and yeah, I think the email, once she gets like the whole setup with
Albany County.
Yeah, with Albany County, then she'll have access to our documents and everything.
Okay.
We have to notify the other commission about her being a member of our committee now, so that they can add her and she can become part of their invite. Well, all of that has to be done. Well, first of all, we made the motion to bring her on. Do we have to vote on that motion?
I mean, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And
Okay.
So I can, I'll email Albany County to know that she needs to be set up.
okay.
And then she needs to be provided with John LaFountain's information so she can reach out to him. But I think first he sets up the email and then she needs to reach out to get access to the Albany County network.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll want her photo in bio to put on the website too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that, but
Okay. Bio. Okay. Okay.
All right, anything else there?
You know, while we're on this topic, I don't know why. Did we ever get back? Remember, there was a gentleman that we interviewed, and I think we never got back to him. Remember, I forget his name. Marie, you remember that?
Yeah, we'll send them something now.
Okay, we still owe him a response or something.
Yeah, I'll send them something.
Okay, and then that should close the book on the committee membership.
Anything else on commissioners? We're full.
Dang.
So next item, thank you to everyone that went in and updated. I feel like every box is full. And if not, we'll like review those. Some of them may not be full because maybe we already accomplished that activity, but this is the work plan that everybody had a chance to go in. And if you didn't have a chance, also let me know. I believe I saw everyone's names in here. So
I didn't.
Dominic,
I
did you
not,
get a chance to go in? I'm sorry.
I did not
Just-
go in, but I was kind of waiting to see if, you know, there were holes or whatever, but, well, I'll let you go on, but
Okay. No, but that's good. Yeah, when we're going through, if there's holes that you see that you're interested in, we'll just place you there as well.
okay.
So this is the community engagement side. This is more like kind of the background on the identifying different organizations. A lot of this work has been started already.
So the identify neighborhood associations.
Mhm.
Naseem and Justine worked on that, and we have a listing of neighborhood associations. I don't know if they're all there. So
Well, it would be great if if they could share the list so I can see. And then I won't have to worry about. if
yeah, I
it's
thought everybody had that list that Naseem did, but
Oh.
Naseem,
Yeah, I guess I'll check right now to see if I shared it with every single one. I'm
Can
checking
you?
right now.
Well, can you just send the latest documents that you have? You could just send them to me and I'll forward them to everybody.
Got it. Yeah, I could do that.
That'll probably be easier.
And then for just reference, if you want to drop them into the SharePoint folder for MMD, because then they could all be held there too.
Got it.
Oh, good.
So it'll be just like this for the rest of the group, it'll be saved just like this Excel one is. That
Mhm.
if you make any change on it or updates, the whole group will be able to see it.
Got it.
So that green button on your right, share, you just upload it.
Yeah.
Like,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's uploading into this document or onto the SharePoint?
You're gonna upload to SharePoint, right?
Yeah, I'm uploading right now SharePoint, and I'll still send it to Marie.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so for that one, I did change this one a little bit just because there's more people working on it, Marie. And let me know if this sounds okay, but I put Justine and Naseem, but then consult with Adrian.
Okay, so one of the things that we're gonna need to do
Mhm.
is we're gonna need to reach out to those neighborhood associations
Mhm.
and identify, like if they have a president or a lead person, identify who the lead person is. So, Naseem, you can probably make those initial contacts.
Got it. Who am I contacting again?
So you know the neighborhood associations that y'all put together
Right. Got it. Yeah.
to try to find out who's the lead person for those associations that we can reach out to.
Gotcha. And I can ask them for emails and stuff while I'm at it.
Yeah.
Will
Are you,
do.
are you comfortable doing that?
Yep.
Okay.
So then that helped me break that up too, Marie.
Okay.
So Adrian, being that you put yourself there, I'm just gonna have you as consulting with or supporting
Okay.
Naseem and Justine there. So you'll like even if you're still working on it,
Mhm.
like because you were already in that space too.
Right. Okay. So I can forward like all the emails of the community based organizations, and then you want to, check it and see, get additional information. Like you said, who's the head person, who's the lead person for that organization?
Yeah, that's what,
Mhm.
yeah, that's what we
Okay.
need.
Okay.
Okay, so going down the rest of the list, we have identify community champions. So Connie took that one on. Identify organizations that supported the census 2020 is still open. There were a lot of organizations that
Mhm.
were doing census
Mhm.
events and everything. So if I don't know, that one's blank. I don't know if anybody has intel on like what who those organizations were, but reaching out to them would probably be good too.
Well, I
We
know
just
Team Esteem, my organization was one of them, but I don't really know. I'm not familiar with the rest.
okay.
So, I don't know how you would get that list either.
Okay, so next from there was just identify opportunities to present and promote the process. Adrian, you're there. Let's see, identify meeting venues. Larry placed himself there. Create a list serve to send information to key stakeholders so that we have one kind of list serve. Connie put herself there.
So,
Uh,
on the identify meeting venues,
mhm.
so I think there's two aspects of that.
Okay,
One is like where we could do the public hearings.
Stop, she'll call you.
yep,
I don't know if that needs to be added as a second one, but I've been kind of talking to Nicole Chambers,
mhm.
and she's been trying to identify a spot for public hearings and also possibly a larger public meeting.
Okay.
but like, what we talked about is doing like small
Mm-hmm.
group, community group sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's the piece that Larry can work on. Like we can meet with people maybe at the African American
Well, I was
cultural
thinking,
center.
the African American Culture Center. I was thinking the Albany Housing because they have a community room. I was thinking the libraries because you can always get a room at the library. I was going to go to the library.
Okay, so that's good. I don't want to do it in this meeting.
All right.
So that,
Naseem put Connie and Naseem both worked on a list of libraries, and Naseem called all of the libraries to identify their meeting room capacity, whether they had meeting rooms opened, how many people their meeting rooms hold and stuff like that. So that information, I believe we have.
All right.
it sounds like he was gonna, Larry, am I hearing you right, though? You were gonna also go over to them? Is that what you were about to say?
Well, my plan was to take a day or two and actually go visit
Yeah.
the sites that I'm thinking about. Like I know about Albany Housing, I know the African American Culture Center, I know different places, Trinity, I
Yep.
know I've been to those those places. I've seen their meeting rooms. I was just gonna go talk to somebody about, how do we go about signing up for one of the rooms and seeing when their availability. I'll work on that. Okay.
So,
Okay.
I mean, that's good. I just wanted you to know that there was a list of like all of the libraries, and
Okay.
that should identify the ones that have meeting rooms and whether they're open and stuff like that.
Okay.
Okay, so I have no need to go to the meeting venues, right? And
Yeah, because that is down
Right,
here too.
right.
So it's identify and then go to the meeting venues. Larry and Adrian signed up in different spots.
yeah,
So should I put Larry there? Because Larry, you're
Yeah, I would
Mhm.
change that.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And then for stakeholder engagement, so presenting the MMD committee, Larry placed himself there, but it's kind of all of us, right? I know that like you put yourself there, but at some point we all will have to be able to do that too, or get comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Educate community stakeholders on the redistricting process. That's probably all, even though it's blank, but it's all of us. Present opportunities for community stakeholders to become involved in the redistricting process. Connie placed herself there. Seek input on public education spaces in the community for forums in the overall redistricting process. And that's just more getting that information from the community too. Connie placed herself there.
I think that kind of dovetails with what Larry
Larry's
is
doing. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I
And
think
go
we could
ahead,
have
Larry.
more than one person. I mean, because we also have a new board member now, so we may be able to have like two people working together.
Yeah, that will be fine, but we still have other blank spaces that we need to fill
Okay.
Mhm.
also. And I mean, we don't want any one person to be like way overburdened.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question about that one right there. Seek input.
Mhm.
Now, what does I put my name there,
Yep.
and I had my own idea of what that meant, but from
Sure.
the committee, what does that really mean? Is that talking to
So-
people and seeing if they want to or would like to um come on and wherever they are, speak to their own organizations or churches or
I think it could be all of that, but I think it's also getting input from people as to how, alternative ways that they think would be most effective in reaching people in the community. Like
Okay.
we have our own ideas, but maybe there's other ways
Mhm.
to more
Okay.
effectively reach people too, that other people that regularly do stuff in the community can provide input on.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
Well, what
example.
about spaces? Uh-oh, excuse me, Kashana.
Oh, no,
What I was just gonna say spaces in the community for forums. Now, is that linked to venues?
Yes.
yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's the part that I thought I knew. So,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. No, but I would just to add on to your point and to Marie, it's just like when during the public hearing that we had where they shared where all the information was going, I kind of
Mhm.
had this like gut reaction like, oh my gosh, we missed a lot of different places to publicize. So getting the community's input on like where do they actually get information, seek information, how can we get their input is what I was kind of thinking there too, is where
Okay.
where will you go? What's your normal place to get event information and things like that?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So, okay, so that one, schedule and promote public hearings through
Mhm.
community stakeholders.
Yep. So that's like more or less like taking the lead on our dates. Like, so we do need someone that's gonna say, okay, this date, we're gonna have different
So-
meetings or
Oh,
be in the
So, I mean,
community.
in terms of the public hearings,
mhm.
I could do that, and we need to have a discussion about it because we need to start identifying dates.
So do you want to take that
So-
instead of Adrian doing that? Adrian put herself there as scheduling.
I think the scheduling and the promotion should be split.
Okay.
Okay. So,
It is split on the communication side, because you know, how this one's more like actually community facing, where the communications plan, well, I guess it is, never mind, sorry. Because the communications plan side has creating the information that you're gonna share during those meetings.
But, so promote public hearings through community stakeholders, and there's another piece of it. That has to do with, that
no,
has
baby,
to,
don't
that
wanna-
has to do
just a
with,
minute.
that has to do with media, notifications and stuff like that. And so I could do
So that's on the communication side.
okay,
So hold that one, make sure I have that in here when we get to the communication side, because that would be dispersing information that way.
yeah, because, and I think we should also spend a few minutes talking about the first public hearing, like for that first
Yeah.
public, yeah. So.
Yep.
So the public, so is the MMD going to schedule the 4 meetings as well? Are we gonna do 4 public hearing meetings?
Yeah, we're
Oh.
gonna avoid doing them on the same date. So in order for
Okay.
us to get venues for
Mhm.
public hearings, we need to identify dates. And so we need to spend a few minutes talking about that, but I guess Kashana should get through the work plan and then we can talk about that.
Oh, okay.
So just switching over from the community engagement side to now like all the back end stuff. So this would be like the communications plan. So developing public announcements, developing message. So that's Marie. Developing messaging to be shared with the public to engage. So all the stuff that everybody like if you identified yourself as being public facing and talking to the community, making sure you guys have the messages that you need. I put myself there, developing PowerPoint decks for when we engage in the community. I put myself there.
So, Kashana,
yeah.
related to that, so we have the talking points,
Mhm.
but we also have that informational flyer. We
Yep.
also have that press release.
Mhm.
And I think they all kind of fit there.
Yep. Let's see. Do you want me to add press release too? Because we have the flyer. Oh no,
I
it is
think-
there. It's there. It was the first one.
Oh, okay. But, okay, all right.
I may have broken it up more, but you captured it in the first one. I think you added that one too.
Yeah, I think I added.
Develop fast facts. These might be things like as we keep moving forward, like based on like questions that may come to us, just making sure that we have it available to people. Develop response time to emails from the community. Naseem put himself there because we're also working on like how we're going to put things on the website, like the meeting minutes, the agendas, the recordings, but then also making sure that we're responsive to the emails. Setting up a survey account. I'm going to email Nicole as well, just to ask if we can have either access to Survey Monkey or Survey Gizmo. So that say we want to do a survey to after a public hearing or put it on the website to get more information, that we have access to a system.
So we should, so I also raised that in a meeting, like a IT subgroup meeting,
Mhm.
and John Wimple was there, Patricia Sibilia was there, and I raised I told them that we wanted to do a survey,
Mhm.
that we wanted it to be able to live on the webpage and to be automated enough to compile information in the background.
Yep.
So they talked about like Google Maps or something like that. But Jennifer, who does like most of the IT stuff and does most of the development of the webpage, she wasn't at that meeting.
Okay. Okay. Google Maps has so it would be Google Maps that we would use to do the surveys, or that's just more or less on the back end.
I initially thought of it as Survey Monkey because I mean that's the most common survey instrument that I know of.
Yeah.
But Patricia was saying that it could be done easily in Google Maps, and I don't really know what the
Your buddy
distinction
there.
is in terms of what it would provide for us and the ease of use for the public.
Gotcha. Yep. Okay. Let's see, solicit feedback on meeting venues. So this is all like more public input. Let's see, solicit feedback on how we're communicating. So it's just that feedback loop to make sure that we're getting information back from the community. Let's see, so public hearings and meetings preparation. Let's see, we have the open meetings law checklist, which Larry already started. We have creating a schedule of upcoming meetings and events, which kind of dovetailed with what Adrian has on the other side. Creating templates for meeting agendas and minutes. This is already in play. Creating a space on the website for the recordings. Marie placed herself there. We have to learn how to host meetings on YouTube Live and Zoom. Connie, you placed yourself there, but
Yes, I did.
are you sure you want to do that one, or?
Well, when time comes to ask for help, I
Yep.
will certainly do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to learn, and So I said, well, I'm gonna take this on and it doesn't hurt to learn how to do new things.
Oh,
So
yeah, yep, yep.
I put myself there.
So we'll have to find out who did the training for them.
Mhm.
Just because when we do our public hearings, we'll have to have access to that.
Right.
Yeah, it was
Marie-
John Wimple.
Okay,
John Wimple?
Yeah.
Okay.
and then I'm still working on setting up the Facebook page. It's just separate. What I'm working on right now is just separating it from my own personal.
Can we just go back to the other one? Because I think someone else needs to be identified also.
For backup as YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. Who else would like to volunteer there?
So I should also say I've also had conversations with Nicole
Mm-hmm.
about us needing a technical resource.
Mm-hmm.
Because even like with the first public hearing that was done,
Mm-hmm.
Patricia covered most of it.
Mm-hmm.
So Nick, the other intern, was gonna cover a lot of it, but then when he wasn't there, Patricia had to step in and she had to handle everything.
Yeah.
So it's hard to like be present in a meeting and
Mhm.
also be responsible for all the technical stuff.
Yep.
And like only a limited number of us really have that technical orientation where some of this stuff would be easy.
Mm-hmm.
So I had talked to Nicole about us needing a technical resource. And she thinks that she can provide somebody,
Mm-hmm.
but we need to come up with dates. At least for the largest stuff,
Mm-hmm.
we need to come up with dates. And so we'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Okay. All right. So identify someone to respond to questions during public engagement. We have Maria's designating someone. Developing a community calendar on the webpage is open, just so that we can have all of that information in one spot.
Yeah, you could give me that because that's all part of the IT stuff that we've been doing.
Okay. The rest of this pretty much goes with that page as well. Publicize updates, utilize the listserv that Connie's working on. So it's kind of taking all those lists and putting them into action by being able to send things. Connie placed herself as responding to questions. And then Marie, I don't know if this is what you started, but I brought this over from this section.
Okay, so responding to questions.
Mm-hmm.
In the last IT meeting, I asked them questions about being able to automate responses
Mm-hmm.
to emails and also to submissions.
Yep.
Because we had a situation with this first public hearing where the young guy who signed up to speak, he didn't really get a response until sometime after he had sent that email or requested to speak on the webpage. So I came up with some canned responses.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna work with IT to try to automate as much of it as we can.
Mm-hmm.
Because to the extent that we can automate it, then nobody has to worry about doing it. And I feel like it should be relatively easy that if I send an email, to get an automated response that says, thank you, for your email or your submission. So we're kind of we're still working through that.
Mhm. No, that's a great idea.
But then somebody will still need to monitor it, and there might be times where there might need to be some manual response.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
Nasim can handle that.
Oh, instead of me? Good. Okay.
Oh, I thought it said Nasim.
Oh,
Nope,
it
it
might.
says Connie.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we could put both of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
because like you said, it's great to have backups just in case too.
Mm-hmm.
So Dominic,
Are
the
you
only
okay
thing,
with that, Nasim?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I was looking to pick up more stuff. Like I barely have anything compared to the rest of you.
Yeah, so I don't want to be throwing you under the bus. So if
No,
at any point I say something that you don't agree with, feel free
no,
to
you're
speak
fine.
up.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
and then Dominic, was there anything that jumped out to you that you'd like to either be a support to or backup to?
Yeah, I'm really not technically oriented, so I guess not, at this time. What I'm thinking about for myself is I am on the budget committee with Larry. We've had a couple of meetings. And I would, it may not be on your list, but what I think I could do is, when the bills come due, review those and make recommendations and work on the financial side of things is where my strengths come. I'm not good at IT, and people would be talking to me about IT stuff and be all go over my head. I commend people who say they want to learn it, but I don't.
Yeah.
Because it's nothing I'm going to use going forward. So that's kind of where I see myself, is on the budget committee and looking at the bill paying as they come in and that kind of thing. So I don't know where you put that.
Yeah, we are
So,
missing the vendor side though, like the vendor
Yeah.
engagement. Like, so
Yeah.
this is just like all the public and
I
community side.
understand.
So
I mean, I will attend every meeting. I will be there. If I can help set up, get early and set things up and things like that, and just kind of lend a hand in that kind of area. I know you don't have that on your
Nick,
list,
let me and you talk a little more to
Okay.
kind of flush that out. I think there's some other areas where you could probably
Okay.
contribute to some of the stuff. It's not all technical.
Okay.
A lot of it is really just like making contacts and speaking to people. So
Okay.
let's
I will be
let's
glad to
talk
do that.
about that.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
but quick question too, before we move to public hearings, because I think that the work plan is done, but like in terms of like who's our contact for like legal and for the mapping, like we don't have someone kind of designated to all those things, or am I missing that somebody is on that side of things too?
So to some extent, it might be all of us depending on what's going on. But I guess I would serve as the primary contact. Like with Jeffrey Weiss and with the mapper, like I've been interacting with them, trying to get their contracts finalized. I've interacted with Jeff and Nicole in terms of getting data from the elections board, and they've provided data that I've given to Jeff. So I guess as a primary contact, it would probably be me, but depending on what people are working on, I mean, it could be anybody. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah, I just was wondering if that's if that's another place that, because Dominic was just talking about the bills and the budget, I wondered if that could be a space too. In terms of the contract engagement. But like you said, you're gonna brainstorm. That was me brainstorming in my head too.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so work plan, I will send it out again, just so that everybody can see where they are now that we've gone through it. And then Marie, I will turn it over to you to talk more about starting to schedule public hearings. It sounds like that's where we want to go next.
Yes. So, we need to come up with some potential. So I guess the way I'm looking at it is that we're gonna do some small group stuff where we just get in front of you know, a small community group of people and talk to them about what we're doing, why we're doing it, what it's about, and all of that. I think we're gonna do some larger public meetings that are gonna serve the purpose of more fully educating people. Where Jeffrey Weiss would be involved and the mapping person would be involved. I see those as larger public meetings. We might do like 2 of those, and then we might do like, I guess, 2 to 4 public hearings, depending on the level of participation and engagement that we get. So what we need to come up with the dates for, I mean, the stuff that can be real flexible is a small group, small community group forums and sessions. The stuff that has to be scheduled are the larger public meetings and the hearings. So those are the things that we need to come up with dates for. So at this point, the commission does not have other dates for the other public hearings that they're going to do. Ultimately, both bodies are going to have to avoid doing public hearings on the same date or doing larger public meetings and hearings on the same date. Because we're likely going to be supported by a tech person in Albany County, we're probably going to need to avoid the dates that the Albany County Legislature has their meetings. That's once a month, and I have those dates that Nicole provided to me. We probably can't do it on a Monday because of the commission meetings. Friday is not a good day to do it. Tuesday is probably not a good day because I think that's a day where some people are not available that day. So I think between Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we need to pick a day where most people can be available.
What time of the day are you thinking of holding these hearings?
I think we're probably going to do something similar to what the public hearing was, 4 to
Okay.
7 or 4 to 6, depending on how it plays out.
Okay.
It'll probably be scheduled 4 to 7. That allows you to get the people that get out of work earlier.
Okay.
Also the people that get out of work later. So, I mean,
All
I
right.
think
That's fine. I just wanted to ask, thank you.
Yeah, so like I know on Thursdays, that's when Adrienne runs her youth programs. So I need some feedback on a day because we really need to commit to a day. Because I think it's going to be harder trying to move it around every time. I think if we could just commit to one day that we're gonna do these larger meetings, that would be best.
Okay.
So are we looking at dates in March and April and May, or just March and April? We're almost like we're mid-March, so.
Yeah, we're mid-March right now, so I think we could do a public, we should try to probably do a public meeting. I think we should try to do a public meeting maybe like the last week in March or something like that, in terms of a larger meeting.
Well, I'm pretty much available, the last week being the week of the 27th. I'm available pretty much at 4 o'clock every day.
I mean, what is the input on a day?
Well, you've already said Mondays are out. You said Fridays
Fridays
are
are
out,
out, yeah.
and you pretty much said Tuesdays may not be so. I mean, you said Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It seems like
Wednesday is good for me.
huh?
Wednesday is good for me.
I'm about to say, it seems like Wednesday is the day that we've been pretty much knocked out.
And I agree, because I have major rehearsals on Thursday, every other Thursday. So in order to not have to be changing it up, I'd go for Wednesday too.
So that week, just as an FYI for Albany County, they have their legislative committee meetings. Marie, I know that you said the legislative
Yeah,
public
Nicole,
forum, do
Nicole
the
said-
committees count too?
Nicole said that we don't need to worry about the committee meetings. We just need to try to avoid the hearing dates.
Okay. I was gonna say, because that week is committee week, but if
We're
we don't have to
talking-
avoid that.
We're
I
talking.
think every week is a committee week. I
Um,
mean, based on the calendar that Nicole gave me,
mhm.
they have committee meetings Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at like different.
5 to 6.
Yeah,
But it looks like it's the last week of the month consistently. So that week that we're talking about is when those meetings, like in April, it's that same week. At least they might be weekly, but the ones that are public, like that would be on YouTube and Facebook Live. It's that last week each month.
and the hearings are the second Tuesday of every month.
Yep. But like you said, they're also short, so they're not going to be the whole time. I just didn't know if that plays into any of the technical assistance support we needed, but it doesn't sound like you said Nicole said that
Yeah,
those committees don't matter, or not that they don't matter, sorry, that they
They don't, they're
there's no
not like,
conflict.
they're not like, I guess, she said that they don't require the same level of technical support,
Okay,
is basically what she said.
okay.
So that she said that those meetings wouldn't create a conflict. So everybody's good with Wednesday?
Wednesday, the 30th?
No, I mean Wednesday as a day for these larger meeting hearings.
Yes.
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 Are you good, Kashana?
I should be. I was just making sure that Wednesday wasn't a day I have a conflict with my PTA meetings.
Are we basically talking March and April at this point?
Yes.
Okay, because I just want, I'm gonna be out I'm gonna be unavailable for 2 Wednesdays in May. I'm going away for 2 weeks in May, but
Are we,
let's not worry about that, huh?
all right, are we talking about the same week each month? Okay, right now, let's look at March. So are we talking March 23rd or March 30th?
March 30th.
March 30th.
I mean, it could be either or.
All right, because my thing is, are we talking about holding it the same week? Let's say the 4th week of every month.
No, because the number of larger forums that we would have to hold, we wouldn't get through them.
All right. So each month we're gonna pick a different week.
Not
Or-
each month, we're gonna come up with dates on the calendar in March, April, and maybe even May.
All
where
right,
we
so
could-
right now we're saying March 30th.
Yeah, I have a conflict on the 23rd, but the 30th is fine.
30th is good for me.
And with me,
The 30th is good with me too, long as it's 4 and after.
Good with me.
Good with me too.
so what time would we be looking at? 4 to 7?
Yes.
Okay.
Marie, does that give us enough time for public notice and all that stuff? Because that's like,
I mean, what it means, and I think what's clear for us going forward is activity is really gonna have to pick up.
Mhm.
yeah. Is that enough time for public
I
notice and
don't-
everything?
I don't know if the requirements to do a public meeting are the same as to do a public hearing, so that I have
Oh.
to determine.
Okay,
Because I know with a public hearing, you have to have the notice in the paper, you have to get it to them so many days in advance. It has to be so many days in advance of the meeting.
Okay.
Marie,
Yes,
you may want to reach out to Donna, because in our interview with Donna Bullock, she, as a lawyer, she has conducted in various capacities. If you read her email, her resume, but she did tell us as a lawyer she's real versed in open meeting laws. And she's real versed at public hearings and forums and all of those type things.
okay.
All right, so we need to reach out to her because she's done this. She's actually had to do public hearings and forums and things of that nature.
All right, so we're gonna look at March 30th.
should we keep going with dates too?
Yeah.
While we're in calendars, and maybe some of those that we decide could be public hearings because they're further out, or
Yes. So in April, there's the 2nd, the 9th, the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th.
Wait a minute.
Oh, no, that's Saturday.
We're looking at
the
we're
6th,
looking
the
at
13th, the 20th. and
Oh, wait a
27th.
minute. Yeah, the 6th, the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th.
Mhm.
So let me see. The legislative hearing in April is on the 11th.
So no conflict because that's a Monday.
So I want to say, April 6th. Like if we do March 30th and we do that as a public meeting, so the 6th, the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th. Does anybody have issues with any of those dates?
I'm good.
Yeah. No, I can't, I ain't gonna do the 6th. Nope. Can't do the 6th, y'all.
What's the 6th?
That's my birthday.
All
April
right,
6th,
all
is my
right.
birthday, and I'll probably be somewhere drunk.
Oh, shut up.
That's
We're
too much
recording, we're
That's too
Ah,
much
yeah, right. That's
information.
a big lie right there.
Larry, where is that? Could you let us know?
Huh?
Okay, what about the 13th?
Anytime other than the 6th, I'm good with.
I'm good with
Y'all can
all
do it
the
without
whole
me.
month.
Y'all can do it without me. I don't have
No,
to.
we can't.
Um,
No, all the dates work for me in April because it's on a Wednesday, so I have no conflicts.
Any of the Wednesday.
yeah,
except
the
6th.
13th is good for me.
No, all of the Wednesday dates.
Yeah, all the Wednesday dates are good for me, except for, like I said,
Connie.
just the 6th.
Yes.
I need to know if you're good all of the Wednesday dates.
Well, at schedule right now, Wednesdays are fine.
I'm
Okay.
open for all those dates also.
Adrian?
Only, the 27th, I'm not available.
Naseem?
Available for all.
Okay. All right, so let's look at May.
Did we pick a date in April?
No, if I know people are all available on Wednesday, then I could come up with a schedule that'll work.
Okay, well, the 6th, I'm not available, and I think Adrian says she's not available on the 27th. So that leaves the 13th and the 20th.
Okay, May?
I'm not available the 25th.
So in May, you got the 4th, the 11th, and the 18th, and
Yeah.
the 25th, but you're not available on the 25th,
Right.
Adrian, right?
Right,
So we're looking at the 4th, the 11th, or the 18th.
I'm available.
Larry?
Available for all of them.
I'm available. Nick, did you say you weren't available in May?
Well,
You came up there. Go brush your teeth.
I'm going out of the
Brush your
country.
teeth.
I won't be available the 18th and the 25th, but that's not a reason to, go ahead and schedule things.
Brush your
Because,
teeth.
I'm good the 4th and the 11th, but the 18th and the 25th, I'm not going to be available. But that one person missing the meeting, I mean, that can happen. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, that's true. Larry?
That's what I'm saying about the 6th. If you all want to do April 6th, and I just can't make that meeting, but everybody else can, then I
If
think
you got
that
5 or 6 out of 7,
I think that should be, no, I'm talking about April. Go back to April.
No, I hear you.
Yeah, we got you on the 6th.
Okay,
Larry, I need to know for May.
May. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm good for any time in May.
Kashana,
Yep, I'm fine for May for all the dates.
okay. So I will come up with a draft schedule for meetings. Because, I mean, there's other people that are are gonna need to have input into these meetings as well. So I don't think we can totally define them in this meeting, but that we have a day is great, and that we have dates that work for everybody is great.
We need to go into June, or we should be, do you think we'll be to be
Yeah,
safe? or
I
do you
think we need to be done with the meetings before June.
Okay,
So I think what we have right now is enough to like flush out a tentative schedule. So I don't think I have anything else, but I did want to talk about the hearing for a few minutes to kind of debrief and get feedback from everybody relative to what y'all thought of it,
Okay,
how y'all thought it went.
before we do that, so right now, let's just give me a ballpark of how many meetings are we talking? How many we think we want to try to hold? 4,
So
5,
I'm thinking 1 to 2 public meetings.
okay,
And 2 to 3 hearings.
okay. So we talking maybe between the two, we talking 5, 6.
I think probably no more than 5.
Okay, and do we know how many of them we want to try to do Zoom, and if we want to do any in personal?
Honestly, my preference is to do as much in person as we can.
Okay, so we may be looking at trying to do all of them in person or a couple of them in Zoom, or I don't know.
I mean, how do people feel about that? I mean, I think in terms of the minority community, I think we really need to get in front of people.
no, I agree with that too.
Yeah.
So do I.
So we look-
Adrian?
I'm fine with being a person.
Okay,
Yeah.
Adrian?
Excuse me. Excuse me. I didn't hear you.
Yeah, we're talking about in-person meetings, and I'm just
Oh.
trying to assess if everybody is good with the notion of in-person.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sure.
I think we
We
also
have
can
to.
do, I think we also can do them hybrid depending on the venue. We could be in person and we could also have people on Zoom.
Okay. Long as it's Wednesday, I don't really care. I'm good with that.
How about you, Nasim?
I'm fine with in person. I just don't have a car, so if it's like in Schenectady or somewhere a little far, I don't know how I would get there. So
Yeah, we can work
hybrid.
that out.
Yeah, either hybrid. Hybrid's fine with me. If
Okay,
if we're at a library nearby, I'm fine with that as well, or anywhere.
okay. All right.
I'd volunteer to drive you, pick you up if you need that.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, me too, Nasim.
Yeah, so can I.
Appreciate
Right.
it.
Right.
So in other words, we got you.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
And if you ever need a ride outside of this process, let me know. You know, sometimes I could be flexible. I'm willing to help you out.
Mhm.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
So, what did y'all think about the public hearing?
It went okay. I thought it, well, as far as I'm concerned, as far as we're concerned, it was pretty much a rehash of what we already knew. And it was just informational for that we knew already. I was a little disappointed that we didn't have more public participation, but you know, the way it went was okay. I was involved. I watched the whole thing, and I was a little concerned about getting the word out, and I was happy. I did see it on the news. Did anybody see it? They did
Yeah, I saw
advertise
it. Yeah, I
and, like,
sent everybody an email saying that it was on Spectrum.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw your link, but I tried to go back and I couldn't find it.
I actually saw it.
No, I don't think I sent the link. I just sent the email saying that it's on Spectrum News tonight.
Yeah, I saw it on the news. They did advertise, but that was like the day before, I believe, or the day of. I can't remember which one it was.
It was the same day. I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it that night. Yeah.
The day of. Okay. So
And I
Mom-
saw my face in full view and blurred.
As soon as she started to speak, her face went out.
I think you put your paper on in front of your camera.
That's right. Her
Okay.
paper was on camera.
I think if anything we learned from that meeting, it would be getting the word out. In other
Yes.
words,
Yeah.
they had, I think everything was set up. They were monitoring the YouTube. They did everything and they were prepared for any incidents that may come up. And I think there was one where they couldn't bring the person up. But anyway, being prepared. But the main thing is just getting the word out there and trying to get community participation.
Leave my phone on.
Okay. How about everybody else?
Yeah, I agree with Larry in terms of that was the big takeaway for me is that when they reviewed where they publicized, I was like, oh, I was brainstorming ideas of where we should publicize next because it sounded like it was like I knew like Colony Spotlight and Ravina Coimet like in those newspapers, but just social media, like I did see people started to post on social media, like the besides myself, Patricia, like we were doing a lot of things on social media, but I liked the comments that we received from I enjoyed that part. Like I'm a big community person and wanted to hear the feedback, but
Yeah.
I thought that those points that they made were really interesting. Like I guess I'm more interested in hearing from the public. So
Yeah.
I like their
Right.
feedback. One about like
Right.
holding us accountable to being transparent and making, so that made urgency on me to like really focus on getting the website, to have the meeting minutes and the agendas and the recordings, because they're just so no one can question like what are we working on or what are we doing.
Mhm.
But I also like the feedback on how some communities are tied to 3 legislators. Like I thought that was like it's one town.
Interesting.
And there's-
Right.
Yeah,
Very
so
interesting.
so yeah, I want to hear more from the public to influence the direction that the recommendations that we make. So I thought that was the highlight of the meeting.
Mhm.
Cool.
I
Mine?
also thought it was good to be prepared, having a contingency plan of in case you don't have a lot of response from the public, to fill that time so that people don't feel like this is a waste of time, so you were able to fill in with information that's still valuable. Even though the meeting didn't have to last all the way up to 7 o'clock.
Right.
So, yeah,
Mhm.
so
It
that
did.
being prepared for those blank spots, so to speak, was a good thing.
Is
Yeah,
it possible that we can get that we can do a Facebook event?
Yes, we're working on a
Okay.
Facebook
Oh,
page too,
Okay,
so that we'll actually have a page to
okay,
publicize both
Okay.
events.
yeah. I think that will work. That will be, yeah, definitely.
okay. Did not see him leave, he left. I thought it went well. I mean, other than the funny videos, bloopers and blunders, I thought it went really well. I thought it came together. I wish there had been more public testimony, but I think we did a good job of kind of keeping it going. We were like chatting behind the scenes to come up with stuff to like fill blank spaces that we knew were coming up. And so, I mean, I think that kind of worked. That whole community of interest thing, I started like Googling it while we were in the meeting. And then I was like scribbling on the paper and was struggling to read my own writing. But
Marie,
yes,
were you viewing it from the YouTube feed?
no.
Okay, because I was on the Zoom. So I really didn't. I wished I could have gotten out to the actual YouTube feed.
I saw the YouTube feed.
Huh?
I looked at the YouTube feed. I had both the Zoom and access to the YouTube feed, and that looked good.
Okay, because I didn't see the YouTube feed. I was just
Mm.
basically on the Zoom.
I was trying to get on YouTube, but I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got it.
I
Oh,
think it
wow.
wasn't there initially. I don't know if it's there now, and I haven't looked since that date, but it's possible it might be there.
Okay, so
Not
there's a way.
seeing my,
There's
go
a way
ahead.
we can go back and view the YouTube feed.
Yeah, if you just go back on Albany County webpage and click that link, it'll take you to
All
that
right,
page.
I may go view that because I didn't see how that went. But
So
I was
I
just
don't
on the
know if
regular
I don't
Zoom.
know if it's there yet because I think they were gonna edit out the time in the beginning and the time in the end. That
It's
was
there.
where
I
okay.
just put it in the link, but I can send you the link to your email too. But I just put it in
Okay.
the chat.
Yeah, I
Okay.
want to see the
Okay.
YouTube feed.
Nasim, I think you were there for part of it.
For what, the meeting that happened a couple days ago?
Yeah.
I was there. It only ran like an hour and a half, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I was there.
Yeah. So what'd you think?
Uh, I'm still kind of new to everything, just processing it in. I thought it was gonna go 3 hours. I was prepared to go to 7 that day, or the full 3 hour Zoom meeting, but it was short. Very interesting.
Okay. Yeah, it didn't go to 3 hours because we only got that one speaker.
Yeah,
I mean, typically there would be a lot more speakers,
right.
but whenever our first speaker was our last speaker. So
Yeah,
so by the time he was done, we were done.
gotcha. Yeah.
So that was
I thought
good.
he was excellent and well prepared
Mhm.
and presented his the case very well. And I mean, I would embrace him to for maybe, you know, some of our, you know, the League of Women Voters is a very highly respected organization. You know, he had his facts together and presented it very well. I mean, I would embrace him in the future to come to meetings and speak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was good. I had one last thought, but it just kind of like went out of my mind. Oh,
Number,
Naseem,
Yeah.
as a college student, give thought to what are the most effective ways for us to reach college students?
I would say an email. An email to at least the emails they check. Like I know they check their school email. And also maybe an Instagram page or a TikTok video. I mean, but it may not pop up on their page. Definitely emails they check. At least I check my email multiple times a day.
Mm.
Okay, yeah, I don't know how we would get access to,
their emails, yeah.
yeah, to a global email group, but that's an interesting concept.
Well,
So,
maybe for the stakeholders, we add student activities maybe at all the colleges. Because then we can promote the event. So like
Okay.
whenever we have like a public hearing or meeting, we can email like Siena, Albany, Hudson
Right.
Valley, and then they send email blast because at Hudson Valley I get an email every day with events. So they can send it to all the students.
Okay,
It's a good idea.
Now, one other question. That gentleman that presented, he presented his own map. So
Yep.
are we gonna be responsible for taking their maps and reviewing? Let's say we get 5 or 6 maps. We're gonna have to review their maps or try to take their maps and incorporate it into our maps. I'm not sure how that whole process works. And
well,
maybe our mapping folks will be able to explain it better.
yeah, we'll have to go through that with our mapping vendor once they're on board, which will hopefully be soon because their finalized contract should already be in Albany County,
Okay.
as well as Jeff Weiss. So I sent a email yesterday to the Department of Law asking if they had it. So I don't have, but the answer to your question is yes, if they do submissions, we have to accept them and we also have to make them public.
Okay.
So ultimately it would live on a webpage, probably in a PDF format. And it's another method where we would be considering input.
Okay. And
So,
I'll volunteer.
Sorry, also related to that, before I forget, with the mapping, one of the issues that's gonna have to be resolved has to do with the fact that we have a different vendor than the commission. So they're doing mapping, we're doing mapping. The software is different. What AppGeo is making available to the public is probably going to be different than what ArcBridge will make available to the public. So that's still some stuff that has to be flushed out. But just so everybody is aware, there's a number of free mapping sites that people can just freely access and draft maps off of. It's a number of them. So there's like Maptitude. There's something called Dave's Redistricting. I don't know how many exactly, but there's quite a few of them that people typically use to draw maps. And so really in terms of submissions, it could come to us in any kind of format. So that's it. I just didn't want to lose that thought. So Larry, you had a thought?
No, I was just gonna say for our public hearings or our meetings, if you get me the flyers, especially now that I had the list, I was a little ticked at that list of stewards that they gave us. And I did go out and I did got stewards to put up the flyers that you dropped off to me.
Mm-hmm.
But on the list they gave me, the stewards on Northern Boulevard was not on that list. The stewards on Henry Johnson was not on that list. The stewards on Central Avenue was not on that list. So I kind of looked at that list and said, well, wait a minute. I don't see any stewards in Arbor Hill or any of that, none of those. So I went to those stewards anyway.
Yeah.
The stewards they gave me was not our stewards, okay?
Yeah.
But I did,
So that's,
I did go and I dropped them off and I did talk to the people there and I got talk to each of the managers and I let them know that we probably would be bringing, more flyers back when we have different meetings. And they said, okay, and since I know where they are now, I know how to get to them. So if you have flyers for our meetings and you like for me to run them and post them out.
We
I
have
can do
that
that.
informational flyer that,
yeah.
I mean, I could get it to Nicole and get copies of it, but I'm gonna send it to y'all so y'all could take a last look at it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
If I don't
know-
hear anything, I would say by tomorrow morning, I'm gonna assume that everybody is okay with it.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna talk to Nicole about making copies of it.
Okay, and I will take it to the stewards, and then I'll drop off. I even gave some at some of the flyers to the art center
Mhm.
and places like that. Trinity and stuff like that. I can do those things.
So
I
we're
would-
So Larry,
Oh,
we're
go ahead.
also gonna do a mailing of the flyer, like to the churches and the community organizations that we have addresses for.
Mhm.
I would like some because I would, myself and my kids could canvas the community and, like put a flyer in a mailbox, every other house or what have you. We can do that.
Okay,
So, yeah,
all right.
yeah.
yeah. So Larry, to your point, like that's how I was feeling when the group ran over where they did their publications, because I feel like that's where we have to have influence too. So where else should we place things? Like when you were just going through where your place, I just thought of like the Boys and Girls Club is another place where I know there's a lot of families, and I mean that over by that price chopper's across the street, and putting a
Right.
flyer there too. So I think that, I mean, that's the influence that we have to bring to that group too, is like to make sure communication is getting where we know the majority minority community is. So I think we should think about that. I mean, as we're thinking of places to hold events, I think we should think of places too where we should post that we know that the community is going to see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Maureen,
can also like some of the bodegas, we can
Exactly,
like have
yeah.
them. Yeah, I can do
Yep.
that too. Yeah, as well.
Who's
That
gonna
sounds
do
great.
the mailing?
I'm gonna
Is
talk to
Nicole
Nicole.
gonna,
I'm gonna talk to
go ahead.
Nicole and see if we could do it out of Albany County.
Okay, okay, okay.
I mean, maybe they could give us envelopes that we, and the envelopes can just be stuffed and it could go out through the county.
Okay. All
I
right,
don't know. I don't know if they would be willing to do that though. I gotta find out.
okay. Cause I'm just asking because I know, churches usually will need to get a flyer in advance
Yeah,
so
that's
that
what
they
I'm
can
talking
talk about
about.
it on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can actually speak on it and post it or do whatever, but they need it in advance of a
Yes, yeah,
Sunday.
that's right. They
Well,
do
I'm
their
talking about,
announcements. Yeah,
I'm talking about getting an informational flyer out now. So that's why I want to give it to y'all for a last look. So by
Okay.
tomorrow, it's finalized and I could just talk to Nicole about it and work on getting copies of it.
Okay.
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 So, I'm finding that to send it to y'all right now. And if nobody else has anything, I think we may be done.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so
As
I-